Hi, everyone. I'm Anthony Giuliano, and this is the Asher Marketing Podcast. And our guest this week is Morgan Ellis from Downtown Wabash, Inc. Morgan, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us. I'm trying to remember where you and I met because you're part of Leadership Wabash, which I have had the honor of being a presenter at. But didn't we meet before that?
We sure did.
What was it? What was going on?
So you had visited Wabash for, I believe, I think it was a social media or a meeting session with Grow Wabash County.
Yep.
So same organization.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I had known your name, so I approached you.
Because I worked with or knew your mom from a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. I think it was United Way.
Yeah, back when I worked in Columbia City. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So we go back to when you were a child, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, we sure do, without even knowing.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk a little bit about what you're doing now and some of the work that has kept us staying in touch. But we want to start with your career path. So what I'd like you to do is talk about what you were thinking about as you were deciding on a career. What did that look like? And did you stay on that path or did you divert from that path? And how did you get to where you are today?
Gotcha. No problem. So I had graduated high school from Columbia City in 2015, and then I moved to Indy, and I was on track for 14 years to go to music school in opera. That was my gig.
Okay.
And then I started, doing the opera thing, doing the music thing, realized I hated piano. And so then I moved to journalism and writing for entertainment publications.
Okay.
So arts, culture, writing. That was my thing. So I was in the communications field.
Okay.
Dove into public relations.
Yeah.
Found out that was my thing.
Okay.
That was my jam.
All right.
I graduated in 2019 from UIndy.
Yep.
And then I was on the job hunt, as you naturally are.
Yeah.
And then I found Honeywell Arts and Entertainment in Wabash.
All right.
And I'm like, let's marry the two, arts and culture, publications, entertainment, marketing. And then, that kind of kicked off my marketing career.
Yeah.
I didn't take any marketing classes. It was mostly just communication, public relations. And then when I moved to Wabash, I actually moved to downtown.
Okay.
So I was immersed in the downtown culture.
Okay.
And then I found my current location, Downtown Wabash, Inc.
All right. So we're going to talk more about that in just a minute.
Okay.
But for those who aren't familiar, talk about Honeywell. What is that organization and what did you do at that organization? Yeah.
Honeywell is a nonprofit arts and culture center. Honeywell Arts and Entertainment covers the Honeywell Center, Eagles Theater, 1324 Drive-In, Dr. James Ford Historic Home, Charlie Creek Gardens, and the Honeywell House in Wabash. And so they put on live concerts, comedy shows, theater, Broadway, classical music, movies at both of their theaters in downtown. Yeah. And so my job was only like 5-minute walk from my apartment.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. And I believe in 2020 they were set to do 52 to 56 shows in the whole year. Okay. And that's quite a bit. Yeah. Maybe even a little more.
Well, I've been to, I think, 3 different comedy shows there. Brian Regan twice and Craig Ferguson. And it's a great little venue. It's really nice. One of the venues, I should say. Yeah. So how long have you lived in Wabash?
I moved there November 1st, 2019. Okay. So I think this will be my third year, second year.
All right.
Like that. Yeah.
So how did you get connected to the job at Downtown Wabash, Inc.?
So when I was at Honeywell, I was serving on the promotions committee for, it was formerly known as Wabash Marketplace. So I had my marketing brain on, public relations brain on, and I was helping the executive director make some marketing choices for the multitude of events that she was running for the community. So that's kind of how I got my footing. And then connections meet connections, and that's how it all started for me.
Okay, so tell us, what is Downtown Wabash, Inc., and what is your role in the organization?
Downtown Wabash, Inc., formerly known as Wabash Marketplace, is the Main Street organization for Wabash County, for Downtown Wabash. And so we foster, we serve as a catalyst for downtown revitalization, economic development, beautification efforts, facade grants. We're really there to focus on small business support, bringing awareness to the small businesses and the longevity of the downtown district after, 40 years of this Main Street organization movement.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
Okay.
That's where we are.
And where do you spend most of your time in that role?
I am the PR and marketing manager. So very similar to what I was doing at Honeywell, just I'm the only person doing it. I don't have a whole team. So between organizing events, helping execute those events and promoting those events, as well as promoting our brand in general.
Okay. So what are some of the things you like most about your job, and what are some of the biggest challenges?
This is my first time being in the leadership role for marketing. And so I have a lot of obstacles to overcome as far as like learning how to communicate what's right versus what's wrong. And that's probably the biggest struggle that I have. Everything else is coming pretty naturally. I have a lot of event marketing under my belt from Honeywell, so that comes easy. The thing that I have found that I love the most is it's a tie between graphic design and content strategy.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So graphic design, was that something you had done before, or is it brand new?
No, I kind of just have this weird spatial awareness when it comes to creative design, and I kind of just went with it. We use Canva.
Yeah.
And
Canva's super intuitive.
Yeah.
It's
come a long way, I feel.
Yeah. Well, when I had a short and really bad stint as a graphic designer early in my career, because I was in a marketing role where you had to do everything, including graphic design. And I was like, wow, I'm terrible at this. I need to surround myself with really great graphic designers, which I do now.
Yeah.
But it was really complicated. That was PageMaker. But now when I look at PageMaker, the predecessor to InDesign, so I'm old. That's a short way of saying I'm old. But it was really complicated. And I'm like, oh, Canva is not. Canva is super intuitive, easy to use. And apologies to my friends at Adobe, because I have a friend at Adobe, but Canva's pretty great. So you're using Canva. And the content strategy side, is that mostly social media content?
It's social. It's our website content, blog content, public relations stuff like, press releases, media advisories, SEO even, and email content, standard email out to all of our members and stakeholders in the community. I mean, it ranges. It's all over the place.
Yeah. I think you and I have talked about this before, but one of the things that I do a lot of work in Wabash County, and I can genuinely say that you've got some great people there in sort of community development, economic development, and it seems like everybody works really well together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The energy there between kind of our big key groups in Wabash County is just, it's palpable. Like you walk in and you're like, these people really care about their community and they're really working hard to maintain the greatness and like push the excellence of their community.
Yeah, and the downtown is pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a tough question, and I know that by virtue of answering this, you're going to have to leave out important stuff. But if somebody wanted to spend like a day or a couple days in Wabash, what are some of the highlights, some of the things you would encourage them to do?
This question's easy.
Okay.
Well, the first thing that someone would want to do is come visit us downtown Wabash.
Because you also have a retail store.
Yeah, actually. More on that in a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hang on, listeners. More to come after this commercial break. So we don't have commercials, so now we're back. Okay, go.
Okay, so stop and see us. We'll give anyone who visits us a map of downtown. That includes the businesses that are in downtown that you can shop at, eat at, grab a quick coffee, really delicious sweets from the bakery, Oh My Cakes, and then also some outdoor recreation opportunities. Like we recently finished the Wabash River Trail that runs all the way from Wabash, like downtown Wabash, from Paradise Spring to LeGros, which is just, I think, maybe 6 or 7 miles away.
And this is a bike, walk, run trail? Nice.
And it's very wide,
Yeah.
open to rollerbladers, bikers,
Yeah.
walkers, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then you come right on back into downtown, and you can head over to White Rock Recreation,
Okay.
grab wood-fired pizza, ice cream. Say that's around like 5 o'clock at
Yeah.
night on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you march on over to Eagles or Honeywell Center, and you catch a live show
Yep.
or a movie. Eagles has a really great, it's a brand new renovated
Yeah.
theater. Shouldn't say brand new. It's been around since I think 1906. So
That's not brand new.
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. The renovation's brand new.
Yeah.
It has 2 theaters inside, the main theater and then the Ferguson Theater, which is a sensory-friendly theater.
Oh, wow.
So, families with kids who need sensory-friendly activities,
Yeah.
that's a great place to be. And if you're into like special wines, whiskeys, craft liquor, the Wine and Cheese Shop across from Eagles Theater is a great spot to hit up afterwards. So
Okay. All right.
you could spend really a whole weekend
Yeah.
in downtown.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
awesome. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that are at the top of your to-do list? Projects you're working on, things that are taking up a lot of your time, or they're keeping you up at night, or you're excited about them, or maybe a combination of all those things?
Well, a few things.
Yeah.
So I know I've mentioned a few times just in chatting here that Downtown Wabash Inc. was formerly known as Wabash Marketplace. Okay. So we actually just rebranded
Okay.
for the first time
Yeah.
in 40 years. Wabash Marketplace Inc. to Downtown Wabash Inc. Makes a lot of sense. We're right in the heart of downtown Wabash. The footprint that we focus on is downtown Wabash, Indiana. Everybody that lies within downtown Wabash is who we communicate with regularly. So, and that's where all of our events happen. They don't happen, out in the county somewhere. That's where our First Fridays happen, the Downtown Wabash Farmers Market, sidewalk sales, trick-or-treat extravaganza, Jingle Jubilee. Really big community events happen right there.
Okay.
And so that's what we focus on.
All right.
So in that rebrand that we launched in February, we now have a brand new website to manage, thinking about that content strategy again, as well as, how can we improve the public's response to a little bit of confusion from what Wabash Marketplace was to now Downtown Wabash Inc.
Yeah.
Really working on that kind of strategy.
Okay.
And then also gearing up for a really heavy event season.
Okay.
Downtown Wabash Inc. puts on nearly 60 events a year.
Oh, wow.
It's a team of 3 of us.
Okay.
One of us is part-time.
Yeah.
But
Does that include things like First Fridays and the Farmers Market? Okay.
yes, so all of the free community events that we have, I think we totaled last year, we had almost 22,000 people coming to downtown between all of our
Wow.
events.
Yeah.
And it's a big focus point for us. But we have these really awesome committees that work alongside us behind the scenes to try to organize some of that stuff, get it all rolling, and help us with promotions, kind of like a street team.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And once it's done, you almost experience a little bit of amnesia because you're like, I don't know if I just blacked out for all of that, or, if we were just so into it that we were just like going, because, between events, you only have 2 weeks to really sit down and do your strategic work.
Yeah.
So that's we're just gearing up for that.
Yeah. So what does a First Fridays consist of? I'm talking about First Fridays like I know what it is. So please help me out and tell me what it is.
Oh man, First Fridays are awesome. I had never really experienced a
I
First
assume
Friday.
they happen on the first Friday of the month.
They sure do.
All right, good.
They sure
Okay.
do. Except this year, when we had that really crazy storm in February, we did have to move it to second Friday.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
Okay.
First Fridays,
Yeah.
really awesome street festival experience. We closed down the center block of Miami Street in downtown, and it consists of like bounce houses, those giant blow-up slides. Sometimes we have concerts that like pack the whole center block of people. Lots of food trucks.
And you do this even in the winter?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Come on down.
All right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then obviously all of the shops that are downtown,
Yeah.
they're open later
Okay.
than their regular business hours.
Nice.
So First Fridays, the hours are technically 5 to 8, but folks will come down and be down from 4 to 9.
Oh, wow.
So people are out and about, and it's
Yeah.
a great time. You know, the sidewalks they're wide, but they fill up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the farmer's market, is that a Saturday event? Saturday
Yeah.
morning?
Yep, Saturday morning from 8 to noon.
Yep.
And we're gearing up for a really awesome farmer's market. We have
Nice.
a new market coordinator. Her
Okay.
name's Carly. And she is super jazzed about all the plans that we have in store for this year.
All right. So what are some of the things that you're most looking forward to in terms of events or other things that are happening that this is where you get to do your big reveal?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Yes.
I'm so glad you asked. So, for those who don't know, Wabash was just designated a cultural district, an Indiana cultural district in 2021. And it's a very rigorous process to become an Indiana cultural district.
Okay.
We were designated at the same time as Arts United in Fort Wayne. And so this is really cool, really
Yeah.
big deal for us. So in 2022, June's first Friday, we're doing the dedication of the cultural district in downtown
Yeah.
because it touches the same footprint
Sure.
as downtown Wabash Inc.
Yeah.
And so we thought, why not do it at June's first Friday? We
Yeah.
have Paint the Plow on Miami Street, so kids can come out and paint all of the snow plows
Oh, wow.
for the city department.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And then, we'll do a ribbon cutting. We'll have new signage installed. We'll have this really cool shopping deal debuted for people who attend First Friday. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
And we're just, we're really excited to be able to educate the public on what a cultural district is.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what that means. This
Sure.
is another thing that I'm acting as if I know what it is. I do that a lot. Yeah.
No, it's all good. So the cultural district for Wabash is really just the downtown Wabash district is heavily involved with its history and performing arts, the vaudeville theater vibe back from when Eagles was first erected in 1906, as well as I mentioned that we have a wine and cheese shop.
Yep.
The Eagles Theater has the Sensory Friendly Theater. We have a candle making bar. We have bakeries, restaurants, White Rock Recreation. We have public parks. We have a museum, the Wabash County Historic Museum. We have all these really cool, super inclusive opportunities, activities, places to be for families, parties, anyone to come and experience arts and culture in downtown Wabash, all within this footprint. And so that's what we are trying to educate the public on. You should be really excited. You should be super proud of your community because we have all these awesome offerings for you that have built up over time. And we've come a long way in the last 10 to 15 years in downtown. Downtown 10 years ago did not look like what it looks like now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you were down there 10 years ago.
Well, here's the truth. If I were, I don't have a memory of it, and now I have a pretty, good idea of what downtown Wabash looks like.
It's a sweet place to be.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So let's pivot to the few final questions that are a little bit more pithy and short. Your career has, it's just getting started in some respects, but you've done a couple different things. What have you learned in that? What's your best career advice? If you were talking to someone maybe who's just getting started, what should they know to get their career off to a good start?
Sure. One of my constants that I always have running in the background, maybe not even in the background, it's something that I look forward to. I kind of, we have this tool in our hands to kind of curate our own content that we want to consume. And so I fill my Facebook and my Instagram and my Twitter and my LinkedIn and my email with content that's relevant to the marketing field. So following Adweek, following Asher, shameless plug, following, the Daily Carnage. It's a marketing Facebook group, following content creators that are true content creators, supporting Black content creators, supporting BIPOC content creators, following people that inspire me to do better work than I'm already doing, to be able to inspire me to start doing, just creating.
Yeah.
So that way, I'm not just filling my content with mindless stuff. Like I'm actually being intuitive about it.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that really since I graduated college. And, it's just easy because it's right there.
Yeah. Well, and
it's not like you have to go searching for it.
And
super
literally
hard.
anything you want to know is out there. It's just where you're going to put your attention.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then you see that, starting to reflect in your work too.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Okay. Really good advice. What is something you want people to know about Downtown Wabash Inc.? Either a misconception that you want to clear up or something that's really great that you want to amplify or something else for that matter.
Sure. So Downtown Wabash Inc. is a nonprofit organization. All of our events that we put on are free thanks to very generous supporters of Downtown Wabash as the organization and just the location. So all the work that we do is free to the public because of these amazing supporters. So that's probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
Just to let people know.
Nonprofit. Okay. All right. Good. Last one. What is a tool or trick or tip that you use in your work that you think other marketers would benefit from knowing about? It could be something you already mentioned, or it could be something you haven't mentioned. Yeah,
I did mention one of the things that I flood my Facebook with is the Daily Carnage.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Daily Carnage?
I don't think I have.
You need to
I'm
know.
not on Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they do have an email.
Okay.
It's very similar to
all right.
the Daily Carnage.
Okay. Well, what is it all
group.
about?
So it's a Facebook group, and you join, and it's exclusively for marketers, communicators, public relations specialists, and it's this super inclusive community to talk about like things that you're struggling with design-wise.
Okay.
If you're looking to hire someone for remote work. If you're looking for someone to proof a marketing plan.
Oh, wow.
Troubleshooting like random technology questions like Facebook ads or Google ads. Or like,
where does the name come from, the Daily Carnage?
I don't know.
All right.
Because
Okay.
their header is a baby with sunglasses on.
Okay.
And it's kind of bizarre, but
All
it's
right.
really cool. And I
Okay.
feel like that is like the energy of marketers. Like
Yeah.
we're all kind of bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out.
it's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So anything else? Daily Carnage?
No, that's probably my biggest one right now. Like
All right.
that's
well,
probably
I only
my
asked you for
favorite
one,
thing.
so what am I doing?
Hey.
What am I doing asking for another one? That's my
know.
fault. Well, Morgan, this has been super fun. It's
Yeah.
always a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This is cool.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who took the opportunity to listen to this week's episode of the Asher Marketing Podcast. We will be back next week with another great guest, and we hope you'll join us then.